All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute DD. Today we're talking about ticker MPW. So this is a video I've been meaning to do for a while. I posted it on the TikTok a while ago and people really liked it. So I've been doing a little more research into it and I filled in all the missing spaces that I felt the TikTok left out. I only have a minute on there, so I'm going to try to keep this to the 5 minute title. Usually I do go over that, but hopefully not by too long. Do me a favor, guys, if you guys like this type of content, drop a like and a comment and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to be adding some different type of content to my channel here pretty soon, but more on that in the future. So let's jump into ticker MPW. So over here on the right, I'm going to pull up their chart. And on the left, this is my whole list of what I would want to know before purchasing this stock. So it does pay a 9.3% dividend yield, and the real estate average yield is about 4.46. So it's double what the typical one is, and there's kind of a reason for that, which I will talk about in the future. It's up 11% in the past month. Another thing that's important come the con section, why it's really important that this is up 11% this past month. They have not cut their dividend since 2008, which is a really big deal. We can see all the way back how they've grown their dividend, and 2022 they still have one more dividend payout coming, but they're at 29 cents currently, which I believe is the highest it's ever been paid. Yeah, 27, it just surpassed that 27% or 27 cent mark, I should say. And we can see in 2008, this is when they cut it from 27 cents to 20 cents, which was a bad hit, but 2008 was not a good time for the market. And that's why they cut it, plain and simple. So looking at their chart, 6 months, it is down pretty heavily. And on the 1 year, even worse, almost 43%. And from high to low, even more than that. I do love their max chart. This is kind of showing how much of a buy this is right now. I mean, it's sitting at like lower than 2017 prices, and I do think that it could go back to these highs, but that's not financial advice. They've had 8 years of dividend increases, and they own 79 medical facilities. So MPW, this is a trust that owns medical operating facilities, which is interesting in my opinion because there's not a lot of trusts like this one, and it's not typical to REITs in that sense. It is very different because it's only medical facilities, and they have very, very different, you're not talking about renters who are going to be moving in a year or a couple of years. You're talking about full, huge hospitals that this company owns and that are operated out of by medical professionals. So it's a really big deal, and it's a very big difference. And plus, medical facilities, in my opinion, it's a great investment because they're never going away. Even as science progresses, I believe those are always going to be hospitals. They started with an initial $1 billion gross investment, which is a good sum of money. They are sitting at a $7.4 billion market cap. So that was just their gross investment in properties, and they've used that money to make quite a bit more money, which I really like. It is extremely beat down. Like I said, we can see from just the last year or two, it's down almost 50%, which is not something to just shy away from, but I will talk about why. And so they went from 4.6 million in assets in 2016 to over 19.7 million in assets in 2022. So quite a big jump in just that short period of about 6 years. That's more than triple. Or close to it. My math's not, yeah, more than triple. So a really impressive stat sheet in my opinion. And then here, this is pulled from their PowerPoint for their investors, for shareholders. So total returns MPW versus benchmark indices. So we can see the 3-year mark is about almost 5%, the 5-year 12.5%, and the 10-year is about 12.8%. Since their IPO, it's an average of about 10%. So we can see that is all time. This is not including the dividends. This is just tracking all of the dates. If you reinvested dividends, this would be extremely different, which is important to note. This is for mostly just people who own and hold the stock that want an increase in share price. But dividends are honestly what I look at this stock for. So let's talk about the cons. There are some cons with this. Large debt owed to MPW. So there is a company that owes a lot of money to MPW, and they were talking, it was a little bit sketchy what the future of this company, if they're going to be able to pay it back, what they were going to do to pay it back. But Medical Properties Trust put out a bunch of information saying that they had already begun to pay it back, that they have a timeline for them paying it back. And so that is why we see, if we jump to the 1-year chart, this was when the toxic debt that they were talking about being owed to them. This is all speculation of it not being able to be paid back. And so investors were pulling their money from this pretty quickly. And then once it started, it snowballed. And that's why I said it was important that they are up 11% this past month, because they released news saying that, no, we are going to do well. And I think the stock jumped about 6% that day. I believe it was sometime in October, 7% maybe. And so that's a really important factor, that it did bottom and now is kind of bouncing back up. There could always be news that comes out that would be negative, which would hurt the stock price, but it is already extremely beaten down in my opinion. So there's less of a chance of that happening, but it could still always happen. And lastly, quarterly dividends. I like monthly dividends just because you get to check every month and it's more fun. It's not really an overall negative. You're still getting, the same percentage as you would with a typical monthly paying stock. Monthlies are just more fun in my opinion. But so not a lot of cons for this company, but that one con, the large debt, is kind of a big deal, and it could be a really big loss in the stock overall if they don't get that debt paid back. But the company said that they're expecting it back and that the first payment was already made. So I will link their investor website in the comment section below or in the bio. So let me know what you guys think of this video. If you like this type of content, again, please subscribe, please like. I'll have more videos coming out, and drop a stock you'd like me to do a video on. I have tons of stocks on my own, but I want to do the videos you guys want me to look into. And as always, do your own DD, check these stocks out and see what you think and let me know. Awesome. Thank you guys for watching.